Of all the planets in the universe, there is only one that we know can support life. It is called planet Earth.
This documentary is sponsored by Diamond Vision.
Crazy. So I was all like, wow, this looks way fun. And my friends were all like, oh, it is. Trust me.
Welcome back. On this week's episode, we are off to one of Bangkok's finest attractions. I'm still adapting to the time difference, so I'm up bright and early at 6 a.m. In Thailand, you can hail a cab anywhere. I jumped into one right outside the hotel. I made arrangements to have the driver all day, which cost me around 1,000 baht. The first port of call is Bangkok's floating market. In a nutshell, the floating market is an example of the Far East at its best. The sights, smells, and the unique environment make this a fantastic experience. If you spot something that tickles your fancy, ask the driver to moor up. And as all over Thailand, you will then need to haggle for a fair price. This is normally achieved by passing a calculator back and forth. My first stop was at a small business that produces sugar from coconut. The owner kindly offered to talk about the process.
This here we make coconut sugar. Sugar come from here, from flower coconut. Flower on the top of coconut tree. Flower before become coconut. In the evening we cut flower and we cover like this. Sugar from flower is dip. And in the morning we keep sugar and we boil here. Boil about 20 minutes. And in the basket, from water that you drink, we boiling 2 hours. After 2 hours, it becomes sugar like this. You can taste coconut sugar. This Thai people use for cooking. Put in hot coffee, hot tea, soup, curry for cooking. Very good.
Very nice. Being a big fan of small business ventures, I stocked up on sugar, then jumped back on board the vessel to see more of the market. Around every corner there is something different. The market had a lot to offer. You can buy artwork, ornaments, clothes and materials, herbs and spices, local remedies. Fresh food is also available throughout, which has been knocked up using the local produce. My next stop was at a temple situated just off the canal. Buddhism in Thailand is represented primarily by the presence of Buddhist monks, who serve as officiants on ceremonial occasions, as well as being responsible for preserving and conveying the teachings of the Buddha. Shrines dedicated to Buddhism are throughout Thailand. Shrines often contain idols, relics, or other objects associated to the religion. Leave a gift or light a joss stick to show your appreciation to the gods. Another common sight are portraits of the king who has reigned since 1946. The king demands respect from the nation, with laws in place that make it a crime to defame, insult or threaten the king, queen, heir of the throne or regent. It was time to jump into the boat for the last time and head back to my waiting taxi. I wanted to get back to the hotel to get ready for the evening's events. A formal start at the Lebua Hotel and then on to Patpong Market. The Lebua at State Tower is Bangkok's finest 5-star all-suite hotel. Lebua is more than a destination, it is a world-class experience. you can't help but look around in awe at the design and materials that have been used to create this great hotel. Many know its name through a well-known film, The Hangover 2, where scenes have been shot around the famous Sky Bar. The views over Bangkok are incredible. I went in the evening to see this beautiful city in its finest hour, all lit up with plenty going on down below. I could quite happily sit here all evening, but after finishing my last beer, I forced myself to leave. The fact that it was central London prices helped, as I was on a travelling budget. So it was time to get back to the ghetto side of town. Patpong is an entertainment district in Bangkok. Whilst Patpong is internationally known as a red light district at the heart of Bangkok's sex industry, it also holds a night market which was introduced in the early 1990s. Patpong gets its name from the family that owns much of the area's property. They are immigrants from China who purchased the area in 1946. Originally simply an ordinary business area, the coming of the bars eventually would drive out most of the other businesses. By 1968, a handful of nightclubs existed in the area, and Patpong found some use as an R&R location for the US troops serving in the Vietnam War. Since the Vietnam War, Thailand has gained international notoriety among travellers from many countries as a sex tourism destination. Extortion, abuse and general criminal activity blatantly goes on behind closed doors in these establishments. You'd be naive to think otherwise. I decided to spend my last few hours out watching the world go by and reflect on the trip so far. I'm up early in the morning as I'm on the move down south to Surat Thani. It was great to be back in Bangkok, as this is my third time to Thailand, and each time I have flown into Bangkok and stayed for a few evenings. If you're planning a similar trip, then this is what I advise you do. A few nights in Bangkok is enough to adapt to the culture, weather and time difference. A lot can be achieved in this time, but do plan ahead. Do some research on where you would like to go. There is a lot of things you can spend your time doing, so choose wisely and go to the places that you think you may enjoy. The Thai community can't do enough for you, and it was a breath of fresh air to be back in Thailand for this reason alone. Thailand in general is such a contrast to the British way of life. Its laid-back attitude and lust to enjoy life are evident the moment you arrive. Bangkok is a great way to start your travels in Thailand. Hopefully one day I will return.
Swish, swoosh, bang to bang, and I'm working on my body like a chimpanzee. Zang, not the only player with the big prize, not the only player with the big brown eyes. Rolling like a train in the middle of the block. You better call the cops, I'm playing on the clock. Yo, swag, swag, working on my swag, venom in the booty, and I got my.